We'll stay in it because the fake sisterhood allows us to. You never hear a woman, if she destroys her marriage or she's about on the break of destroying her marriage, you'll never hear another woman will come around and say that's supposed to be her best friend. That will come around and say, baby, you better go back. You better go back. Rethink that. Go back. No, she helps her. Oh, that's right. He ain't this. Baby, let him go. He ain't this. He ain't this. Instead of telling her, nope, you got to go rethink this. Something is wrong. You see it on social media, how that way they react when one of these stars leave their husband. They so happy.
Oh, they praise it.
And it doesn't make sense. But this is the uncomfortable truth that women don't want to hear. I'm listen, I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. I don't need no man. And the sad part is we're the only culture that preaches that. I don't need no man, and men ain't so and so. I don't want to get disrespectful on your channel, so that's what I'm trying to
no. I'm with you though. I'm with you. I'm riding with you on this one.
So it's because of the upbringing. A lot of the stuff that's happening is because of the upbringing, and it takes some time for the women to understand that it's wrong. Now, even some in my age still don't understand it's wrong. When they come and ask me, I have a girlfriend. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I have a girlfriend who her daughter has been married 30 years. And she told me, and I told her, I said, tell her to call me. She said, I'm not going to tell her to call you. I said, yeah, tell her to call me. And I was waiting for that call. She didn't call me. She didn't call me because you know what I was going to tell her? I was going to tell her, you have lost your mind. Your mama ain't tell you, but I'm going to tell you, you have lost your mind. This man you have 2 children with, you have built a dynasty with this man. And you're leaving him because you're not happy right now.
Right.
Instead of you trying to work on it. You not happy right now. And this is why I always encourage women when you've been married a long time, get a hobby. Get something that you like to do that sustains you. Learn how to be around your husband as well. Because this is the uncomfortable truth. When those kids go off to college and you and him have never had a good relationship when they were growing up and you just raise these kids, y'all gonna be like strangers when they leave. Your husband is really supposed to be your best friend. I'm sorry. He's the authority, yes, but he's supposed to be the one you always want to be around with because you and him are one. But women miss that part. Like right now, my king is off today. We've been doing nonsense all day, and now he's asleep. And then
you don't put that man to bed early in the morning like this, early in the afternoon like this.
Listen, and in a few minutes, I'm gonna go aggravate him some more. But this is the thing. This is the uncomfortable truth. Just as well as we don't like to be alone, our husbands don't like to be alone too. Just as well as you like to be treated nice, he likes to be treated nice. And the men are the men who are not married. If you're dating, this is the same way. Men just want to be treated with kindness. One thing Sir Hill Speaks has said a couple months back, and I like to quote that brother because he's a good content creator, just like you, sir. And so he said that men like to be used. That's what he said. Men like to be used. And I said, wait a minute. I had to listen again. He said, men like to be used, but they don't like to be misused. And I digress. My mic is muted. I'm finished.
No. That's all real. You know, I was having a conversation on my panel on Tuesday. You know, I do the grown women talking. And we were getting into the discussion about marriage and things about not being happy. And I let the women know on the panel, marriage is not about being happy. You might not communicate, and that's fine. The communication might lack for sometimes a day, sometimes a week, sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months, sometimes a year. But if you are in the marriage for dedication and what it's supposed to be about, you would understand that you're married for a bigger purpose. You're on a duty. And it's okay to not feel that all the time. You have to work through your feelings and deal with the logic of being married. And that was something that a lot of the women struggled with understanding on that panel. Not all, but some of them did, because it was like, well, hold up. No, if I'm married, I need you to communicate with me 24/7. Even if you took a couple of minute break away, you need to come right back. But that's not real all the time. And that's what I was trying to help them understand. You know, marriage is more than that feeling of happiness and contentment. You won't feel it. We're talking about a lifetime, not a short time. You gonna say something, Black Shane?
Not at all.
I don't have. He like, I'm soaking it all in.
I don't have a dog in the marriage fight, so I'm just listening about and taking it in and taking notes.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But this is a real part of it, and that's what I try to get people to understand. That this is so much deeper of what we're trying to build. Like what my wife and I try to build. We're not happy with each other all the time. You know what I'm saying? We'll have days that'll go by where we're just pissed and we're not communicating. But at the end of the day, it's a duty that I have. You know what I'm saying? If I made a vow to you, I got to commit to that vow. I can't just be like, all right, I'm giving you 1 month to figure your life out. And if you can't figure out that, I'm out. But like you said, the echo chamber a lot of these women live in, that they go and they speak, yes, queen, you need to leave. Yes, there's so much better out there. Then they get divorced and they start realizing that there's nothing better out there because you still got to put in the work.
And those women that are telling them there's better out there have never seen that better for themselves. It's just speculation and conjecture at that point. So they're telling them, well, I think there's better, but they leave the I think there's better part out there. Because, you know, if all this better was out there, then those women would be doing better themselves. Right,
exactly. So better meaning so I could be single and end up like you. And I love how Take Heat started that, right? Because the way it came across was, all right, you're pushing me to be single, right? Because misery loves company. And that's what I got out of it. Miserable people want other people to be miserable with them so they could drown in their sorrows together.
It's like a person that goes to the hospital and the doctor tells them they have diabetes because they're fat. And it's like that person goes out and starts like this anti-doctor campaign because I'm not fat and being fat doesn't cause diabetes. So they'll go find other people that they can make think or co-sign and agree with that and be like, these doctors are wrong because just because all 200 of us are fat and have diabetes, the other 2 million people who are fat and have diabetes are wrong. Like it's always those groups of people that are going to do that. And it's the same thing with these single women. The women that the men didn't choose and that they wanted to be chosen at some point because they've all been in relationships or whatever. Now they're just, you know, commiserating, holding hands and, you know, sharing roses. I don't know. I guess that's pretty much how that's going to go. But it's a lot of cats. It's a lot of homeless cats out here, man. So, you know, I'm real big with the SPCA, and I'd encourage each one of those ladies to go adopt as many cats as they should have kids.
I don't want to punish the cats and the dogs no more, okay? Because Kevin Samuels, may his soul rest in peace. That's what he was telling everybody. I don't want to punish the cats and the dogs. It's not fair.
Man, if you see how some of them cats and dogs live in some of these shelters, at least these women will feed them and treat them like, you know, they're children.
But you know what? It's sad though, because you know what? The truth is that it's not enough brothers to go around. If you check, it's not enough of them to go around. And this is the whole problem. They don't understand that part.
I think there's enough to go around. I think that too many women are arrogant and feel like they're entitled to have a good man of their own.
I'm going to share something with you. I think every woman is entitled to have a good man. You know what it is? It's the man image that they got in their mind that don't make sense.
I think it's a math-based issue. It's impossible for every woman to have a man of her own. There's more women than men, so they're gonna have to share somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not enough. It's not enough. But this is what I believe. Every man, every woman should be able to get a good man. But the problem is is her. See, you attract what you know what I'm saying? If I ain't shit, right? Check this out. If I ain't shit, I'm going to attract ain't shit men. If I'm not doing the right thing, that's what I'm going to attract. So if I go and clean out what's not right in me, then I'm going to attract the man that has substance. A lot of women will sit up here and say, if you gave them a choice, a good man with a stable foundation, but he not making over 100,000 a year. Okay, he's not making that much. But there's another man who his priorities are not together, but he got money. Okay, she's going to choose the one that the priorities not together, but he got money. So it's the woman that is the problem, because there's a lot of things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I've been both of those guys. I've been, the guy who didn't make six figures but did everything else right. And then I've been the guy that makes six figures a month, and I make six figures a month, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. So I've been both. And then as I got older, I became more in the middle, to have it on both ends. But I think a lot of from my experience and what I've seen on GMT's panel and other panels like it, that a lot of women forget that they don't set the market for marriage. They're not, the asset doesn't set the market does. And set the price. I mean, the market, the asset doesn't set the price, the market sets the price. And for the men that they want, if they focus on being too much of what they want to be for themselves and not what they want, not what the men they want to pick them want for themselves. So if men are telling you, we want a woman who's quiet, peaceful, kind, nurturing, supportive, you being a businesswoman, a boss, a leader, successful, all of those things don't translate to what we want. But that's what women focus on, because when a man, for example, we become those things in order to, first thing we do when we get a bag, I can have children now. I can support a family. I can have a wife. When typically a lot of these women, when they get money, the first thing they say is, I don't need a man. They go get money. They tie their money to their independence. Men tie their financial success to being interdependent and being in a position to be able to. So, I don't feel bad. And that sounds, it's kind of harsh, but I don't feel bad for women like these, because they're single because of the choices they've made. And they're just arguing against it because a lot of times people just don't want to accept the fact. I'll go back to my diabetes analogy. A lot of people don't want to accept the fact they have diabetes when a doctor tells them, shows them on paper, your A1C is higher than giraffe ass. Your sugar, your blood sugar, your cholesterol are all high too. Like, you have diabetes, sir, or you're pre-diabetic, because they just don't want to hear it because it's bad news. Same thing with cancer or any other medical ailment. They'll still argue with in their mind because they're trying to rationalize how that news of what they're being told conflicts with what they want to believe because what feels good to them. So seeing that, it's the same thing in the dating market when it comes to women and men sometimes.
You telling the truth. And it's sad, because the thing is that I believe that I deserve a good man. A lot of women will say, I believe I deserve a good man. But the problem is, are you a good woman? A lot of women can't answer that question for themselves. When I was in my 20s, before I met my husband, I kept saying, why can't I keep a man? When I was younger, I can't keep a man. I couldn't keep one to save my life. Okay. But I had so many issues. And then, you got your mama issues, your daddy issues, you just doing nonsense yourself. I couldn't understand why, until I sat there and started thinking, like, there's some things I need to change. And I'll share something with you. A lot of people hate on Tyler Perry. A lot of people can't stand him. But I remember going to a show of his in Newark at Symphony Hall. And Tyler Perry broke character and asked everybody, all the women. He said like this. He said, ladies, do you want to know why you can't keep a man? Right? Now, mind you, I've been was asking this a while back. Right. He said, why you can't keep a man? He said, because it's something in you that needs to change. It's something in you that needs to change. And as I was walking into me changing my mindset and everything like that, boom, I had a little trouble at a laundromat and ran into my husband. A little trouble in the laundromat and ran into my husband. And going on 17 years now, married.
Married. That's
And
dope.
it was because I was now let me share something with you. I will not say I was a perfect wife our first 2 years. I was nonsense. But my king, what he did was he was ready to teach me. And I always tell people my husband was groomed under a king. His father was an amazing father. May his soul rest in peace. And so he raised my husband to become a king. And so when he started teaching me, I was like, what is going on here? You know, why every time I'm doing something wrong, you know, this and that. And my husband said, because I have to teach you how to be a wife. You don't know. Because he saw it. He saw what his mother did. So he had to teach me. And I was offended by it. I was upset. I was angry, everything. And he told me it's because you don't have the teaching. A lot of y'all young women don't have teaching. My king is only 7 years older than me. He talked to me like I'm the baby of the house. And I said to him, sir, you cannot teach me something that he said, no, I got to teach you because you're getting it wrong. And so my king is not a loud man. He's not a loud man. He's not arrogant, none of that stuff like that. He's a no-nonsense man, but he will dog walk you and pull his glasses down and dog walk you while he's trying to give you a lesson. Shout out to my husband. But
shout out to him.
He always, and because of the teaching, I am the woman that everybody called Take Heed today because of the teaching. Now, I ain't going to sit up here and say I don't get indignant because I can curse my behind off, okay? But I don't do it to him. I don't get indignant with him, okay?
You give him that respect 24/7.
Yes, because this is the thing. My king always tell me your last name mean power. Don't get up here and disrespect my name. He always tell me don't get up here and disrespect my name. So this is the thing. I had to know in my 20s something was wrong. There's some women that's right now, that's my age, and they don't know that something is wrong. And when I say something, and I'll be on a panel or on a show, nah, take heed, nah, you wrong. And I tell them, listen, I've been married longer than you. I understand what's going on. You just sitting in denial right now. But the thing is, you might get a little older and you be in your house alone, and maybe you might be getting ready to go on to glory, and you'll understand the message. But I believe this wholeheartedly. Every man that gets married, he has to have the mindset to be ready to teach. Because every man has to teach their wife. I don't care how we try to spin it, turn it around. They got to teach their wife how to behave towards them. Because
the biggest problem, though, Take Heed, we do run into with that is a lot of women feel as if they know it all. So it's very hard to break. It's hard to break that boundary when you're trying to teach them, and they're like, "I can't be taught because I know more than you," or how I know is what I know. My biggest thing I feel like women don't want to do is understand male nature, right? So that makes them unteachable.
I'll share something with you. And those women who are unteachable, you have to sit on the sideline. You're not ready.
Those are the ones that's single anyway.
Yeah, you got to sit there and just wait for somebody to come get you. You got to sit right there. And that's the thing that women miss. That men are the ones that are in control of relationship and marriage. We in control of the box. That's it. And so they don't understand that part. Like when, and then I always say this, is that I was ready. I was ready. Even though my husband was dragging it out of me, I was ready to submit. You know what I'm saying? And I believe when you have a woman, and this is how you know she's ready to submit. Check this out. When she respects you before she loves you. That's how you know she's ready to submit. Because if she loved you first, the relationship not gonna work. Because her loving you, she can still disrespect you in public and in private. But if she respects you first, she gonna always respect you no matter what.